Good morning still. Welcome to the press conference for the 12th round of the Cooper Tires USF 2000 Championship powered by Mazda. The second part of the Baltimore Grand Prix of Baltimore presented by Allied Building Products for the USF 2000 Championship. First of all, let's have a quick chat, I think, with our national class champion for today. He is his second win of the season, drives and works for and manages the Robinson Motorsports team. Mark Eaton. Mark, you were telling me a little while ago that you weren't very pleased with your performance yesterday, but today you had to come from behind and took your second win of the season.
Yeah, yesterday I just didn't drive as well as I should have. I went over all the data and all the video, and I was just missing apexes and turning points, and just a lot of times throughout the race weekend I have a hard time focusing on getting into the car because I have so many different things to do through the weekend. But my team's always been there for that, support me and doing a great job, and just sometimes I wish I could do a little bit better for them. Hopefully today I was able to achieve that for them, and the team does a good job, and I got to thank all my sponsors, the Robinson Motorsports, DeathToLionFish.org, Valvoline, CincyImages.com, and of course the series sponsors for doing this for us and making this ladder system for all the younger drivers to be able to progress through the system. USF 2000 and Cooper Tires, Mazda Road to Indy, Mazda Speed, VP Racing Fuels, Allied Building Products. It's a great program, and I really appreciate everything everybody does for us.
It's great to see the Formula E cars involved in the championship this year. That's one of the cars that you're driving, part of the national class, and the championship points situation not going to be a lot closer. I haven't had a chance to figure it out yet, but with R.C. Emerson going out, I think, on the first lap, and Henrik Ferrucet, they're the first two in the championship. He didn't finish either. This is going to put you right up into contention.
Yeah, we had a couple bad runs ourselves, so we were hoping, these next couple rounds we could get some advantage here with some mistakes from the other guys, and it happened today, us picking up the win and them not finishing. So we're right back in the hunt. I think we're probably a long shot, but it's still good to be back in the hunt.
So our national class winner today, Mark Eaton. Third place finisher today. You missed a couple of races in the middle of the season, driving for JDC Motorsports from Vancouver, British Columbia in Canada. Scott Hargrove. Scott, tell us about what happened yesterday at the end of the race and how you were able to transform that setup into a third place finish, your first podium in USF 2000 Championship.
Yeah, yesterday I started 14th due to not being able to qualify, and of course I missed some races, so that's why I was so far back in points. But the race went really well. I worked my way up to 5th, coming onto the last lap, and into the chicane on the last lap I caught up to Scott, who was stuck behind a slower car, and I didn't really slow down and ended up running into the back of him. So we still crossed the line with 3 wheels on the car, and so did Scott. So I got 6th, but the car was a mess. So we worked all last night, and we weren't done until 10. So hats off to the JDC crew for getting the car ready for today.
And you two once again had a good race today.
Yeah, it was. Started 4th, lost a spot to Scott at the start, and then one of the cars went off with a broken front wing, so that put me back up to 4th. And then me and Scott just had a great battle all the way. I kept putting the pressure on him. He didn't make any big mistakes. I'd make a tiny one there, and he'd make a tiny one there, but I couldn't get close enough to quite get by him. And then obviously Spencer went out. I'm not sure what happened to him, and that's unfortunate. So yeah, it put me on the podium, so I'm really, really happy about that.
And first time here on the streets of Baltimore, what were your impressions?
The city and the organization that put on this race in USF 2000, it's so cool, and the fans here going outside, and you say the fans of Baltimore, they're all clapping, they're happy to be recognized. So it's such a cool event to be, especially to have my first podium at an event like this. This is the best moment in my racing career so far.
Congratulations to Scott Hargrove. Another Scott finishes in second place today, driving for Bellardi Auto Racing. Scott Anderson is your 6th podium finish in succession, and another strong run today, but not quite enough to catch those 2 K Motorsports cars.
Yesterday, we finished 5th. Actually, I was running 4th, and Scott said we had a little incident on the last lap. Still managed to cross the finish line with 3 wheels, which, that was pretty cool to at least finish with that. So, not a big deal, but, we didn't really have the speed we needed to fight for a podium yesterday. We kind of had some obvious changes to make that I thought was a pretty safe bet. We made them and worked out pretty well. We had a pretty quick car, not quite as fast as the Cape cars, but we're still able to somewhat hang on and keep Scott behind us. It was a pretty tough race. He kept putting the pressure on, and especially through the chicane. I mean, he'd catch me there every single lap, and I had no idea how I could go any faster. I was like almost in the wall every lap, and I couldn't bring any more speed in there. So definitely putting the pressure on there. So yeah, just huge thanks to the Velarde guys. To make up the speed we did overnight like that was a pretty big thing, and big thanks to Mazda and Cooper Tires.
How difficult is it then when you've got a guy who is fast right on your tail there, and you've got to concentrate on not making any mistakes on a very difficult street circuit?
Yeah, I mean, on a road course, it's one thing, but on a street course like this with bumps and stuff everywhere, and all these little differences, you put the car off just a little bit, and you're kind of in like a completely new territory. So it's tough to not make any mistakes. And luckily, I didn't really make any big ones. Just bumped the wall once, pretty slight. That was it.
Congratulations, second place finisher Scott Anderson. Race winner today for the fourth time this season, extends his lead in the championship now with just 2 races remaining. Driving for Cape Motorsports with Wayne Taylor, racing in the number 83 DTE Group car, Matthew Bratton. Matthew, tell us a little bit about how, let's first of all talk about the first corner, because yesterday you started from the pole and didn't quite get it right down there. This time, what did you change this time?
Well, I was still very on the edge, and I almost didn't make it this time as well, but I just kind of bring my braking point back a little bit from where I braked last time, and it was still on the edge. I mean, I think I need to just be a little bit more, confident and not as, hesitant, because I'm kind of hesitant and like trying to make sure I'm first into the first corner, and I don't brake as much as I should, and it cost me, quite a few positions yesterday. But yeah, that's just the goal for this race, was to not make any mistakes and keep a clean race and stay out of front and stay out of trouble. And luckily it worked out that way for me, and it worked out really well.
And once again, you were under pressure for most of the race with Spencer Biggin. Did you see what happened to him, and how was it like with him hot on your heels, knowing what's at stake?
Well, I didn't really see what happened, but the team radioed in and told me. So, ever since then I started making mistakes, because I was the whole first half of the race, he was really, really quick. I mean, I couldn't pull away, and he was putting the pressure on a lot. And it was, we had our strengths and weaknesses, and he was really quick through the first half of the track. So we were pushing each other really, really hard, and it was a fun race at the start. I mean, it was definitely tough. He was incredibly quick, and luckily, it's unfortunate that he ended up in that situation and came together with a bad marker. But it's good for my championship, and it was a great race for me. So I'm happy.
It was a great event all around. It was just your first time here on the streets of Baltimore. Just tell us your impression of the city, the racetrack, the event as a whole.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. I love it here. The racetrack was really, really fun to race on. It was really tight, and my kind of racetrack. And the street circuit's always the best, because the atmosphere and the crowd really get into it. And the track did an awesome job, turning it around and getting that chicane in there. And I think the races are really good, and that chicane was fine. So it was good to. The track worked really hard on making sure it was adequate enough for us, our cars, and looking after our cars. So the people here are really cool, so it was always fun.
So congratulations to our podium finishers this afternoon in the USF 2000 Baltimore Grand Prix, presented by Allied Building Products. National class winner today, Mark Eaton. The third place finisher, Scott Hargrove. Second place, Scott Anderson. Race winner, Matthew Bratton. We go now in 2 weeks' time to Virginia International Raceway for the final 2 races of the Cooper Tires USF 2000 Championship, powered by Mazda season. Thanks, guys.